From the station that's on your side, this is News 12, NBC 26 at 11.
Family and friends coming together tonight to celebrate the life of a local middle schooler gone too soon. We'll take you to tonight's vigil. But first, we're heading into a very busy weekend in Augusta, from the Augusta National Women's Amateur on Saturday to drive, chip, and putt Sunday morning. So much depends on the weather. Let's check in first thing with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale with a closer look at what we can expect. Riley, how's it looking?
Yeah, Richard, unfortunately, all eyes spread impacts in that way. Take a look at these wind speeds. Sustained winds between 15 to 20 to wake up to early tomorrow, and then really seeing those winds crank up by midday. Much more in that weekend outlook in just about 10 minutes.
Riley, thanks a lot. Today was all about practice for some of the best amateur golfers in the world. Our sports director, Dan Booth, was at Augusta National, where those young players were putting in the homework today. Dan.
Realizing all of your hard work is paying off is truly a special feeling. On Friday, the golfers competing in this year's Augusta National Women's Amateur had the chance to play one of the most famous courses in the world. A special day for so many of these golfers, because whether they made the cut or not, everyone got the chance to play a practice round. They had the place completely to themselves, just calm, quiet, and peaceful Augusta National in tournament-ready conditions before a single foot bends the grass in the walkways. Rose Zhang will try to make history and hang on to her impressive lead as she starts the final round 13 shots under. Caddy selection is always a topic for discussion at major events. This is Zhang's third time playing in this tournament, and her dad has been on the bag every year. She told reporters on Friday she'll be keeping her dad by her side.
Ultimately, I feel like what we have is going pretty well thus far, and I feel very comfortable with him on the bag. He's very predictable. We know our games in and out, I think especially when you're at the biggest stage at Augusta, it's pretty necessary to have that comfort, to be able to be yourself and do what you need to do.
To play a round of golf at Augusta National is a dream come true, but to be able to share the experience with the person who spent years helping you build your game is special. Our Alyssa Lyons caught up with the youngest player to ever make the cut at the Augusta National Women's Amateur, and her dad turned caddy.
He's basically my best friend.
Like a caddy knows the lay of the green.
Sometimes it gets a little bit tough.
A dad knows his daughter like the back of his hand.
You know their player enough that when they're running hot, and my daughter does run hot, she's very competitive, to give her 20, 30 yards of space and just let it be. I mean, that's a fine line.
He's really good at calming me down. He knows me better than any other person does, and he knows exactly what I'm thinking in every single moment. So he knows me really well, probably a little too well at times.
We've worked pretty well together. I mean, for father-daughter, she's a teenager too, so we have our moments.
There are definitely moments where, the dad comes out, which is understandable.
A lot of times me telling her, hey, gee, there's a hot mic right next to us, be careful.
From dad mode to caddy mode, everything in between.
We know exactly what we're thinking before we even say it, which we finish each other's sentences. We know the yardage before we even step up to the ball. We know what club we're going to say.
Little moments can turn into memories along the way.
I know a lot of kids, they have a good relationship with their dad, but not necessarily in a caddy way. Some people like to keep it separate, but I think we do a really good job of kind of blending it all together.
In Augusta, Alyssa Lyons on your side.
The final round tee times are bright and early due to the potential weather impact. UGA's Jenny Bay is coming into the final round third on the leaderboard at 7 under. West Columbia's Jensen Castle tees off just before Bay at 8:30. Rose Zhang will continue her pursuit of history next to Andrea Lignell. Lignell is trailing Zhang by 5 strokes in second place.
Dan, thanks very much. And just when they thought the day could not get any better, look at this tweet tonight. How about a surprise concert tonight from former One Direction member Niall Horan? And talk about surprise. Can you see the look on those players' faces. They cannot believe what they're seeing. And you should have heard the reaction in the newsroom just a few minutes ago when they tweeted out this news tonight. A magical week gets a little bit better for those young women playing golf at Augusta National today. Final round tomorrow. An amazing time to be in town. A pro golfer and his wife continue giving back through their foundation. The Kisner Foundation announcing more than $1 million in new donations to our community. It's run by Aiken native Kevin Kisner, his wife Brittany. $1.2 million going to the Children's Hospital of Georgia. That's all part of a larger $5.3 million pledge to our Children's Hospital. The Aiken YMCA and Salvation Army Croc Center also getting donations, along with a dozen other organizations. People here in Augusta and golf fans all around the Southeast know his voice. John Patrick is on the radio every morning here on WGAC. He's also the New at 11 tonight, family and friends coming together to honor the life of a 13-year-old killed earlier this week. Buddy Brown shot grabbing a DoorDash delivery outside his apartment on Broad Street. Sydney Hood was at Buddy's vigil earlier this evening and spoke with family and friends there.
3 days and still no answers for Buddy Brown's family. They are still trying to figure out who would take the life of their boy and why. Buddy is described as someone who loved being around his family and food, and he had a smile that was infectious.
Dear Lord, but young Brown, he said, you don't care now. Father, you don't have to worry about the cares of this world anymore. Father, they need you now. They need you to comfort them.
This is from
They need you to be in their midst.
Jaylene, and it reads, Buddy Brown, you will always be a part of Hornsey Middle School. You were kind and a very friendly person. You didn't deserve this. I hope you are well in a better place. And she said, rest in peace, Buddy. You will always be loved and remembered.
3, 2, 1.
As blue and white balloons fly in the wind,
I love you, buddy!
the bundle stops in the tree. His father sees it as a sign.
He ain't going nowhere, cause the balloon is stuck there until he get his justice. And when he get his justice, he'll have his peace, and I will too.
A family still searching for answers.
We just want justice for our nephew. Little Buddy was a good child, and I couldn't understand how somebody would do that to him.
He was everyone's favorite little buddy.
I mean, Buddy was a lovable citizen, and everybody loved him. Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody here has a little of Buddy still with them.
So his voice is still in my mind and still in my head, you know, when I see him. Hey, Uncle Robbie, you know, what you got for me today?
And forever in the hearts of those who loved him most.
Buddy, he see us now. He see us. He gone to angel, he see us now. And right now, Buddy in my heart, and he gonna never leave from my heart.
We asked the sheriff's office if they have a suspect or if the alleged killer is still on the loose. They're not saying. Meanwhile, Buddy's family says they're going to do whatever it takes to find his killer, offering a $1,000 reward for information.
Just a moving moment tonight for those friends and family to gather. City, thank you. The Salvation Army teaming up with a number of agencies to help people in need today. This event at the Center of Hope, providing goods, resources, services, and just help to people. It's an event that allows nonprofits to really make a difference in our community.
It allows other nonprofits, it allows volunteers, it allows community members to engage in helping, because so many people in the community genuinely care and don't know how to help, so this allows them to engage in helping. It also allows for those who are experiencing homelessness to come to a place where they'll be able to connect.
They say going forward, Distribution Day will be held on the last Friday of every month from 2 until 4 in the afternoon, right there on the front lawn of the Center of Hope on Green Street near downtown.
Well, heading into tomorrow,
And still to come on News 12 at 11, there may be 2 potential suspects in the death of a Hampton County man found in the middle of the road back in 2015. More on that. And as we head for a break, a live look tonight at Salt Lake City and your winning lottery numbers. Actually, closer to home. That's Augusta's Riverwalk, or North Augusta's Greenway, looking out over the Savannah River. We're back with more news after a quick look at the lottery winners. The Vatican says Pope Francis is expected to be today. Pope Francis back. Convicted killer Alec Murdaugh moved to the statewide protective custody unit of a South Carolina maximum security prison. Murdaugh's reception and evaluation process completed earlier today. The Department of Corrections Protective Custody Review Board met yesterday to make that recommendation of a statewide protective custody classification for Murdoch. Our sister station in Savannah has been going through files and audio recordings from the initial death investigation of Stephen Smith, a young man from Hampton County found in the middle of the road back in 2015. In the report, two people who are not members of the Murdoch family claim they hit Smith with a truck, but were never charged.
A phone call in December 2015 between now retired Corporal Michael Duncan with the South Carolina Highway Patrol and former Hampton County police officer Nick Ginn reveal a tipster made authorities aware of two potential suspects in 19-year-old Stephen Smith's death. We'll call them Person 1 and Person 2.
Can you tell me what was told to you? We tried to get in touch with but he's kind of avoiding the call, the contact, and all.
This is what I was told. He said, come over here to the house. He said, he told me that was drunk and hit something. He said he went back the next day to see what it was he had hit, and he seen a lot of police out there. So he talked to one of the cops, and then he had left, and then he learned, I guess by media, that somebody had been killed in that same area.
The tipster told Ginn Person 1 was visibly distraught.
Was crying, telling him, and after he got finished telling the story, he walked outside his house and threw up.
They also say Person 2, the driver of the truck, may have tried to cover up evidence.
So supposedly he had fixed his mirror. He had patched one of the mirrors up on the truck.
Both officers acknowledged this was the only concrete lead they'd come across in this investigation.
Well, I heard some rumors around town, but as far as anything that I could say that had any kind of possible validity would be this.
Right. Just the only thing you've heard prior to this is rumors.
Right.
Okay.
Of course, SLED is aware of all this, and they're investigating Smith's death as a homicide. They reopened the investigation after finding evidence during the Murdoch double murder investigation in 2021. But again, neither of these potential suspects discussed in that recording you just heard are part of the Murdoch family. Southwest Airlines has a new action plan to prevent another operational meltdown. You might remember the disaster back in December. Nearly 17,000 flights canceled, 2 million passengers stranded over the holiday season. The plan includes adding more winter equipment and staffing at some airports. The airline is also planning to invest $1.3 billion in technology updates this year to improve communications and their decision making. A new report says Americans will get smaller Social Security checks in 2034 if Congress doesn't step in and fix the problem. It says the combined Social Security trust funds, which help support those payouts, will run dry that year. That means the program's continuing income will only cover about 80% of benefits owed. About 66 million Americans received Social Security benefits last year. Still to come, new video from the crash scene in Athens where two members of the UGA football family lost their lives.
Morning. Offers on the Hardee's app.
You're watching News 12 on your side.
There's new video showing the aftermath of that deadly crash that killed a UGA player and staffer and possibly a star athlete's future in the NFL. The Athens Clark Police Department providing this body cam video along with interviews with those who were involved in that January crash. One of the people interviewed on the scene, former UGA defensive lineman Jalen Carter.
So at the time, when we get close to the turn, it's where it's like a little hill that goes down and come up. And while we're going up the hill, that's when it's dark and I couldn't really tell it was a turn. So I slowed down and I looked behind to see what she was, and that's when I see her zoom past.
As for Carter, he was charged with street racing and reckless driving and has since pleaded no contest to 2 misdemeanor traffic violations, a judge sentencing him to 12 months probation. A man is recovering tonight after being shot in the leg. Richmond County Sheriff's Office says it happened around 2 this afternoon on Wiles Road. When deputies got there, they found the man had been shot at least once. He was taken to a hospital for treatment. A Columbia County inmate has died. Jerry Wisdom had been in jail since October on charges of aggravated child molestation and 2 counts of felony child molestation. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office says Wisdom was found unresponsive in his cell. Deputies administered CPR. They were not successful. In a statement, the Sheriff's Office says they don't believe foul play is suspected in Wisdom's death. A different kind of event at the Burke County High School today. They call it a ghost out, and this year's theme was drinking, texting, and driving. The all-day event teaches students about the life penalties of drunk driving and the consequences of DUIs. You can see students driving around in a golf cart with the drunk goggles on today. A Burke County High School teacher explains why these events are so important.
Well, a lot of kids don't know what could be the effects of doing those things and driving, how it affects not only them, but could impact their friends, their family members.
Several students saw a mock crash scene where students were either injured, arrested, or killed. Again, the overall goal is to discourage kids from driving while distracted.
Well, remember, for tomorrow, along with the risk for storms, we're also going to see a very windy day across the area. Now, look at that forecast just after a quick break.
Time and tell your doctor if your Crohn's disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Best move I ever made.
Ask your dermatologist about Cosentyx.
Looks like a Georgia favorite is back. Chick-fil-A announcing after a 6-year hiatus, they're going to bring back their watermelon mint lemonade. The fast food chain says the Atlanta market was one of the top sellers for the drink in the country. It'll be returning to restaurants on Monday, so you don't have to wait that long at all. And Riley, maybe the perfect timing to add some ingredients and make this an Arnold Palmer, you know?
Absolutely. Have you ever had the watermelon mint?
I have not. Have you?
I have not either, but I guess it's worth trying if they're bringing it back and it was a top seller.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Sounds like a good afternoon drink, especially with the heat we've seen over the past couple of days. For tomorrow, we are